What's up, everybody listening on their radios? This is Sports, Politics, and More, live from New York City, joined as always by the wonderful Frank Todaro. Frank, good evening, sir.
Yes.
The president says that when Steve Bannon was fired, he not only lost his job, he lost his mind. Does he feel betrayed by Steve Bannon? Does he regret hiring him?
I think the president's statement is extremely clear what his position on Mr. Bannon is. It was pretty lengthy and pretty detailed, and there's not really much to clarify or to add.
But is there regret then? I mean, he says a lot in this book, and they did have a long and close working relationship. So is there a sense of betrayal?
Once again, I think the president's statement fully addresses what his position and what his relationship with Mr. Bannon is. April?
Sarah, when was the last time the president talked to Steve Bannon? And this is a serious question. Is the president now blocking Steve Bannon from calling his cell phone?
I'm not aware that he was calling his cell phone, but I believe the last conversation took place at the first part of December.
And what does this do to the base that these two powerhouses are fighting the Republican Party? What does this do to the president's base?
I don't think it does anything to the president's base. The base and the people that supported this president supported the president and supported his agenda. Those things haven't changed. The president's still exactly who he was yesterday as he was 2 years ago when he started out on the campaign trail. His agenda hasn't changed, and he's continuing to fight for and push for that agenda. And I think the base is extremely excited and happy with the job that this president has done in his first year in office. Look at all he's accomplished. I think they're pretty happy with where he is.
Peter? Steve Bannon has a distinct following, the alt-right, and some people who may not necessarily be for the other, people who are xenophobic. What happens there?
I think that's a question you're going to have to ask Steve Bannon. The president's base is very solid. It hasn't changed because the president hasn't changed and his agenda hasn't changed. And we're continuing to accomplish a lot of the things that were on the president's agenda as we did last year, and we're going to do a lot more this year as we move into the beginning of 2018.
All right, Andrew. Hello, Andrew. He probably took his headphones off. All right, welcome everybody to the first episode of Spam in 2018. I am Frank, and Andrew, are you there?
Yes, sorry about that, Frank.
What are you taking, a break?
Oh, no, I had to talk to my dad.
Okay. What does your dad have to say about Steve Bannon's news today?
My dad called him a hypocrite.
He's a hypocrite. I don't know what this is all about. There are a lot of conflicting reports here. Apparently, maybe some say he gave this interview to who's that? Michael Wolff? Is that the guy's name?
Wolf.
I don't know. They say that he gave this interview to Wolff, and this guy maybe Wolff cut up the interview and is making him look bad. But you heard now. Yes, you heard Sarah Sanders give her answers at the press conference. She didn't necessarily bury him, but she just reiterated that he pretty much has nothing to do with they're trying to minimalize his role with the Trump campaign. I mean, they got rid of him a little. Maybe they fired him like 6 months ago, and they tried to sort of like give it good PR, and they said, he's going to do more for the president outside than in the White House. And there was always rumors about Steve Bannon once Trump got elected that he was the leaker of he was leaking stories to the press, to the Washington Post. I mean, if you really think about it, since they got rid of him, there hasn't been any leaks. So now apparently
Russian possible collusion.
I'm telling you. So now this guy Steve Bannon, he's in a war of words with Donald Trump Jr. All right, and Jared Kushner. Apparently, those were his enemies. I don't know what's going on, Andrew, but have you been following the story? This is big news.
Well, all the conservative outlets have been talking about it. Breitbart, Drudge Report, you name it. Everything's out there.
Yeah, I mean, this is big because before during the campaign, they maybe I guess not the right media, the right media or the conservative media, they weren't necessarily making a big deal about Bannon, but the left media like CNN and Politico and Huffington Post, they were getting triggered by Steve Bannon. They were like, this guy, he's like, he has too much influence on the president. He runs Breitbart, whatever that means. I mean,
well, Steve Bannon's company is reporting Steve Bannon's news, so did that surprise me? No,
right?
Absolutely not. Go on Breitbart.com; it's the top story on there right now.
Right. But it's weird. He even disparaged his own news. He even disparaged Breitbart. I read before, and even if you read the comments in the story there, I mean, he's getting buried by a lot of Trump supporters. I don't know what's going on with this. So apparently, Andrew, you see the tweets I put on the teleprompter by Don Jr. He said Andrew Breitbart would be ashamed of the division and lies Steve Bannon is spreading, and then a few hours later, Don Jr. said Steve had the honor of working in the White House and serving the country. Unfortunately, he squandered that privilege and turned that opportunity into a nightmare of backstabbing, harassing, leaking, lying, and undermining the president. Steve is not a strategist; he is an opportunist. So, if you listen to Don Jr., he buried him. And you remember that guy Scaramucci during the summertime? Remember he got fired.
Scaramucci, the mooch.
Didn't he like really? Did he curse out Steve Bannon in the press? That's why he got fired. You remember that?
Honestly, you know what Anthony Scaramucci should be doing right now?
What's that?
He should be on our show.
I wish, but I'm pretty sure that's why Scaramucci got fired, because he gave that he got hired, and like 2 days later he gave like this interview where he cursed out Bannon, and it I remember, and it was at first I remember like Trump didn't really necessarily like he didn't necessarily like say anything to Scaramucci, but then later like they had to fire him. I guess I don't know. Everybody gets fired, like.
Yeah, but apparently, like, social media made memes out of Mooch.
Scaramouche.
I still think he's a big celebrity. Even after he got fired, I still think he's a celebrity.
I don't know. He'll be forgotten about. I don't even know who is he? Like,
I don't know, but he's a celebrity.
You don't know who he is.
He's famous for not being famous.
All right, I just looked him up. Anthony Scaramucci is an American financier, entrepreneur, and political figure. Scaramucci worked at Goldman Sachs, investing banking, equities, and private wealth management divisions. This guy. If you look at him, he looks like Mr. Wall Street. Like he's got the perfect suit, he's got the tan, he's got the perfectly.
And then he's probably one of those ingrates who takes the Long Island Railroad on the Babylon branch.
I don't think he's taking the Long Island Railroad. I think he's getting limo rides home, Andrew.
Well, he'd be getting cars to himself then.
Yeah,
thanks to Patrick Nowakowski.
Yeah, and I want to ask you, what is it I want to tell the audience, Andrew. I have him on my news feed, your Facebook, Twitter. Andrew, you're uploading these rants about the mass transit in New York City. What's going on with that?
Someone needs to speak up.
I know, but you're like the angry New Yorker.
I am angry. Our mass transit system is broken.
Listen, maybe you should start a separate channel, and maybe you could give directions to people. But anyway, listen. All right, listen. And coming up real fast, we'll have Andrew's NFL recap and picks. 2-minute warning,
and my pick for the college championship game on Monday.
Thank God this is the football's over. And at 8:15, we'll pick up more about Steve Bannon and other stuff about Trump. And at 8:30, we'll have the news.
Oh.
But
here's the thing about football season. You know, the thing is, it's like people in New York could really, like people in downstate New York, they really don't care that the Bills are in the playoffs. Like, I can't blame them.
Well, I don't know. It's weird over here. The Buffalo is very far from New York City, but what you call?
Well, remember, this is a baseball town.
Yeah, I don't know. But Buffalo might as well be in Canada. But yeah, it's very far away. It's like a 6-hour drive, Andrew. But anyway, back to Steve Bannon. He's very. This is a juicy topic. But anyway, Andrew, we'll get back to him, and we'll distract as usual. We distract the public, the plebeians.
And we'll try to get Scaramucci on this show.
Yeah, we'll try. And we have to distract the infidels. So go ahead. What you call it? You started as of last week. You were 28 and 36, and last week you added 2 college picks. You had the Rose Bowl. You had Oklahoma +1 over Georgia. Oklahoma lost to
But that
Georgia.
was a good game.
Hey, I heard it was one of the better games in recent memories. I think the Mad Dog said that. But anyway, they lost 54-48 to Georgia, but you got a loss on that because you picked them by 1, so they lost. And then in the Sugar Bowl, you had Alabama -3. Alabama winning in a rout 24-6 over Clemson. You get the win. And then over to the NFL, you had the Falcons -3 over the Panthers. Atlanta wins 22-10 over Carolina.
Win!
That's a win. Buffalo, you had Buffalo -3. They do win 22-16, so you get the win over Miami. You had the Jaguars +7. They lost to the Titans 15-10, so you get the win because 7
I
plus
covered.
10. 7 plus 10 you covered. And in the final pick, Andrew, you're on a roll. You're on a winning streak here. You had the 49ers +3 over the Rams, and the 49ers win outright 34-14. So Andrew with a big win in the final week of the NFL.
I want to quickly say something. Keep an eye on the Niners next season.
All right,
You
okay.
should be thankful
This is NFL analysis. This is your picks for the gambling degenerates.
I've made something of myself.
So anyway, you with a 5-1 week. It's still you have a losing record, 33 and 37. Andrew, do you actually bet or no?
No, because the thing is, number 1, betting in New York is illegal, and 2, if I want to bet, I have to do it in Delaware.
Oh my God! Get out! There's things called people called bookies. I used to know people who used to bet thousands of dollars every game.
Just give me a break.
Yeah, listen, I know one guy a long time ago. He 1 week he was up 20. He was up 25 grand, and like a month later he was down 15 grand.
Oh.
Yeah, listen, hey, that's crazy. But anyway, get your 2-minute warning, real fast.
All right.
I'm Donald.
Oops. There we go. Okay, so here we go. First up, before the NFL wildcard playoff picks, I just want to quickly pick the college football championship game going to be held in Atlanta. Georgia will be the home team taking on Alabama. Not liking Georgia. I'm still skeptical about their offensive line. They proved it to me that they're still weak against Oklahoma. Alabama will take care of business, and Nick Saban will win another championship. Now on to the wild card playoffs. Kansas City's at Arrowhead this week taking on Tennessee. I think Kelsey will finally get back on track. Alex Smith will win, and they will beat the Tennessee Titans. I think it'll be close, but I still like the 9-point spread. LA will be at the Coliseum this weekend taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Not too skeptical about the Falcons. I like Todd Gurley. I like Sammy Watkins, and, of course, Jared Goff. So give me the Rams, -6. Jacksonville at home taking on the Buffalo Bills. I think the Jaguar defense will come back. They will beat Buffalo, but they'll lose to Pittsburgh and New England next week. And then the New Orleans Saints at home, -6 versus Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers.
Okay, very good. I haven't said this disclaimer all year. Maybe it's late, but anybody listening, this is Andrew's opinions, and they do not reflect the opinions of Spam or UCY TV.
Well, it'll matter when I predict the Super Bowl.
Okay, so I'm just saying, it's for wink wink entertainment. Okay,
Entertainment.
All right, so moving along, Andrew, back to the news. Now, I've been seeing this term all day in social media called the bomb cyclone. Have you heard about this?
Cyclone. Boy.
You haven't heard about this?
Is it something with the Democrats again?
No, that's pretty funny. No, there's apparently a huge storm about to hit the northeast, and the north. It's a big snowstorm coming, Andrew.
Oh, are you talking about the nor'easter we're going to get?
Well, see, there you go. Good. They call it now. They've been calling this all day. Bomb cyclone, which is an actual. It's not. It's a term, but and I looked it up.
I think maybe I saw it yesterday.
Yeah, because I said this has to be climate change propaganda, because it's bomb cyclone. It sounds fantastic. It's weather fear porn. Listen, even if we get 30 inches of snow in New York City,
we're not going to.
But even if we do, it's not the first time, and it won't be the last time. It's normal. And I looked it up. What a bomb cyclone is fast. It's an extratropical cyclone, sometimes called mid-latitude cyclones or wave cyclones, and they are low-pressure areas which, along with anticyclones of high-pressure areas, drive the weather over much of the Earth. Extra cyclones are capable of producing anything from cloudiness and mild showers to heavy gales, thunderstorms, blizzards, and tornadoes. These types of cyclones are defined as large-scale synoptic, low-pressure weather systems that occur in the middle latitudes of the Earth. In contrast to tropical cyclones, extratropical cyclones produce rapid changes in temperature and do point along broad lines called weather fronts and about the center of the cyclone. So what this is, it's just a big pressure, and because it's cold, it's going to produce. It's a nor'easter, like Andrew said, basically almost. Yeah. But already I've had people tell me, text me saying, "Are you ready for the bomb cyclone? Get the bread and milk. Get the bread and milk. You got to get the bread and milk.
Get your bagels. Get your pizza. Get your hot dogs. We're gonna be screwed."
Yeah. So I guess this guy Edwin Lorenz, he wrote about this. He's an expert. It's called the Lorenz energy cycle. And he explained that they're atmospheric transients, and they act as mechanisms in converting potential energy that are created by pole to equator temperature gradients to eddy kinetic energy. In the process, the pole equator temperature gradient is reduced, and energy is transported poleward to warm up the higher latitudes. So basically, it's a mix. It's a big mixing of the temperatures. But as you see, if Andrew, in the picture I put in the teleprompter, the settled science, it's called global cooling, global warming,
climate change, climate disruption.
But what is it actually, Andrew?
Climate disruption.
It's actually called weather. Okay.
Oh, WEATHER.
Yeah, it's weather. All right. Go look it up. There's been big tundras in the Northeast. And Americans, people in America, the United States, we live in a bubble. Like, it doesn't snow in other parts of the world. Climate change. We've had massive blizzards here in New York. I remember 1996, New York got hit by 2 blizzards back to back, where it dumped, I think, 36 inches of snow. One was, I think, 23. One blizzard was 23 inches. And the other was 13 inches, back to back, like one.
Well, they said the worst snowstorm was 1977.
No, 1978, whatever. But I mean, listen.
Okay.
It's relative. I mean,
they said we're due for a big blizzard every 40 years.
No, come on. In 2010, here in New York, in the Northeast. Basically the East Coast. In 2010.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah,
they passed Bloomberg for his response.
Yeah, it was 2010. It was a Christmas. It was Christmas Day, Christmas night, the 25th. There was a snowstorm warning here in New York, and it started.
Oh, I know where I was. I was having dinner with my parents and their friends.
Very good. And I remember walking out around 8 o'clock at night, and that's when the flurries. I started seeing flurries, and I was like,
around 9 o'clock on Christmas Day, I remembered.
Christmas night. The streets are empty. There's no traffic because it's Christmas night. And then I was like,
there's traffic on the Meadowbrook Parkway.
I was like, this is bogus. They overrated the storm. And I went back out at 10:30, and by 10:30 there was about 4 inches of snow on the ground. I was like, wow. And the next day,
I looked out by midnight; it was already covered.
Yeah, the next because I see it's no excuse, but because there's no cars and no heavy traffic in the city, the snow accumulated very fast. But so that's that. And then I wanted to play. I found this from Alex Jones. I know people always snicker at Alex Jones, whatever, because he's been hit by the fake news and people try to discredit him. He is what he is. He if you think he's crazy, whatever, but a lot of the stuff he says comes true months later or years later, and bing
bing bong bong bing bing bing.
Yeah, I haven't really listened to him lately because I don't know. I pretty much. He's not teaching me anything new right now, but sometimes he does put out some good stuff, and I put it. I'll play it over here.
And they always build the systems of their own destruction because they're going to finally be made whole once they do this ritual, once they get this technology, once they've knocked out all their enemies. And then all they do is build their own destruction. So that's why they're bringing out the UFO stuff and all the rest of it, which is, we know they've got aircraft for 50 years that do the stuff that these jets are seeing. And these fighter pilots are like flying 1950s technology. Yeah. And they maybe 1960s with the avionics and stuff. And then they see the whole black budget stuff, and they're like, what is that? It's making, 180-degree turns and stuff because it's our technology. I'm not saying there's other stuff out there. I know, okay? I know. I was going to meet at a hotel with a guy who was on the main mission for Mars.
And this, Andrew, are you there? Or are you bubbling around? Like,
I'm listening.
Yeah, now this is titled that President Trump is considering declassifying secret technology because that the technology is 50 years advanced, but the public doesn't get it.
And he could never get it out. And then some threats and things happened, so he shut up about it. And then he would say, "Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you." His friends of my dad too, and he could never get it out. But he just said what we already know. There's a whole breakaway civilization of technology, and it's 30, 40, 50 years ahead. I mean, the SR-71 Blackbird was in service in 1955. It was developed.
Andrew, you realize? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still listening. All I'm hearing Alex Jones saying is,
what are you doing that you have to keep fumbling your headphones and you can't listen to 5 seconds?
Because Alex Jones mumbles too much. I can't take it.
You did it before too. Come on. If you're not interested, how is the audience supposed to be interested? Come on. But listen,
because our audience doesn't care about Alex Jones.
Yeah, they do. But whatever. Forget who's saying that.
Next to Otto, because he's a Texan.
You listen to the message. Like the technology we're using right now, it was probably invented in the mid '70s. You realize that?
Then why can't Michael Savage talk about this?
He does. What are you talking about? Michael Savage is one of the worst with UFOs and stuff like that. He's on AM radio.
It looks like a spaceship. It's not the fastest plane in the world, okay? That's why that little fat goblin over there, Trump, that's why he said, get ready for the secrets of the universe. Trump is thinking about it. We know you got a bunch of fancy stuff too, Russians and Chinese, but we're way ahead of you, so look out. We got more than that.
I'm trending.
And just saying, here it is. They could hit one button, everybody in North Korea would be dead in 5 minutes. And there'd be no radiation, nothing left after that. Everybody would just be dead. They've got antimatter weapons that'll blow the whole solar system up now. You know they've got weapons that'll create black holes. That's even been declassified. You know they've got fission, fusion, everything. And again, it's that Atlantis moment. Why not just tell everybody? Why not just admit it? Why not launch the space bases, do it all, stop creating slugs, stop creating weak people, stop incentivizing people to be jellyfish so a bunch of greedy globalists can have all the technology themselves because they don't want to give it to other people. You will never transcend with that type of behavior and spirit. It puts a ghost into the machine that will always make it predatory and will destroy whoever attempts it. I promise I'm going to Tim.
Listen, you got to realize people don't understand. Most of the money the United States we spend on our military and what they call the black budget. Like, you ever hear about when the Pentagon says they can't account for $2.3 trillion that day when Donald Rumsfeld before 9/11, he said the Pentagon can't account for $2.3 trillion. And then recently they did the same thing of a couple of years ago. Where do you think all that money goes to? That money goes to these black projects, these above top secret projects that the president doesn't even know about. Only a handful of people know about.
Come on, this sounds like a plot from a movie.
And you know what the saying is? The truth is stranger than fiction, Andrew. You believe all this stupid stuff about aliens and green men? That's just fake news to distract you from.
The only aliens I care about are the ones who are illegally crossing our border.
Come on, see, Andrew's for the audience. He's young. He's just turned 21, 22. In the 80s, in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, Andrew, it was a big thing on TV and the news about UFO sightings, about alien abductions. Almost every week there was a TV show. That's just to distract you. And when people say, "Oh, I saw lights in the sky and it was a triangle-shaped thing and it flew 200 feet over our farm, it went so fast," that was a stealth bomber. And this, if you in 1978, if you lived in Middle America and they flew a stealth bomber over your house, you would think that was a spaceship,
a UFO.
Oh, whatever.
Frank, this is the 2010s. Things are different now.
But so you're saying you don't believe in UFOs?
I believe in illegal immigrants.
But listen, anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, I remember even like 10, 15 years ago, they news stories, they would say, people would say, I saw a big light in the sky, and then little lights came out of it. Those are drones. And now people, you could go to your local pharmacy or store and buy a drone. They sell them in CVS or Rite Aid.
My parents don't want me having one.
Well, you don't really need one. I mean, do you really need one? I mean, what are you going to do with it?
I don't want a drone anyway.
Only if you live out.
I want a new computer.
Yeah, okay. Only if you live out in the open. Maybe you could use a drone with a camera. I mean, now Amazon is going to be
exactly. If I have a drone, the problem is I live in two places. I live in the suburbs of New York City, and I live in Maryland, where there are a bunch of condos along my streets. It would not work out for me to have a drone.
Right. What was I saying? Amazon. They're saying that's how they're gonna be delivering stuff in the future with drones. They're gonna have a big blimp in every city, and that's gonna be like the mothership. And they're gonna have little drones constantly going in and out, making deliveries and dropping boxes by your house. That's coming up. That's coming up. They're already doing it in some parts of the country. And soon that'll be global. Amazon will be global. They'll have blimps in every major city in the world, and they'll just be dropping stuff. And I mean, I wonder why the post office doesn't do that, because they're probably not.
Well, before we read the news, Alex Jones was talking about the tweet that Trump sent out 24 hours ago, and I quote, "North Korean leader Kim Jong-un just stated that the nuclear button is on his desk at all times," in quotes. Will someone from his depleted and food-starved regime please inform him that I too have a nuclear button that is much bigger and more powerful than the one, and it works?
Yes, I read that. And what's crazy is the fake news. They keep. I don't understand. If you live in America, why would you?
Sorry, Frank. It was 8:30. I had to play the
Yeah,
soundbite.
okay, good.
So you know what you were saying?
Now I said, if you're an American journalist, why are you taking the side of Kim Jong Un over Trump? Kim Jong Un is his family's 60 years of dictatorship. Those people eating potatoes, lucky to eat potatoes. I don't. Just go, Andrew.
Well, quick question: have you seen the movie The Interview?
Yes, I with Seth. What is James Franco and was it Seth Rogen?
And Seth Rogen. But here's the catch: James Franco has erupts when he finds out that all the food is fake.
Yeah. Listen, everything is. Listen, it's terrible out there. I don't know how you could take the side of Kim Jong Un. Well, we're not. I said it a million times before the show. We're not going to go to war with North Korea. There's nothing I
hope not.
No, there's nothing we could do over there. Kim Jong Un is not stupid. He knows if he sneezes wrong, like Alex Jones said, we'll wipe out the whole continent. Anyway, go ahead, Andrew. We have a big breaking story. Go ahead, read it.
All right, might as well. All right, so the big breaking news, and unfortunately, we have to talk about this, and it involves somebody familiar.
I'm Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
What happened?
Well,
is she getting locked up?
What difference at this point does it make?
Is the FBI raiding her house?
All right, so on earlier this afternoon, firefighters in Chappaqua, New York, responded to a fire at the home of former President Bill Clinton and 2016 Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton.
Wow.
According to Kempter's Firewire, the fire broke out on the second floor of a structure of the Clinton-owned property. Initial reports suggested that the fire broke out in the bedroom of the Clintons' main home, but that wasn't the case.
There was a fire in the house? How did the fire start, Andrew?
I don't really know, Frank.
Well, read.
It said the fire broke out on the second floor of a structure.
Oh, wait. What's the matter? You can't... hold on. Shut the radio off. Go ahead, read it. Read the article, Andrew.
It said that a spokesperson for the Hillary Clinton campaign confirmed that the fire broke out in a Secret Service facility that's not connected to the main house.
Oh, I've seen this.
Both Bill and Hillary were not home.
Yeah, in one of her interviews, there's a little side house where the Secret Service stays. So I guess the fire broke out in the Secret Service facilities. Go ahead, read more. I want to hear more.
Screw the Secret Service protecting Bill and Hillary.
No, they have to do it. Come on, read.
Unfreaking All right. Short time ago, Kempter's Firewire confirmed that the majority of the fire was under control shortly before 7:30 p.m.
Go ahead, read.
Sergeant Arthur Mendoza of the Newcastle Fire Department told the fake news network that the fire has been completely extinguished.
Okay.
The extent damage.
No. They didn't completely extinguish it. They left it. They partially extinguished it and left. Of course they're gonna. It's extinguished. You fucking idiot.
What in the world?
You might very well think that. I couldn't possibly come.
Okay, emergency crews arrived at the home shortly before 3 p.m. today to battle the flames. As you can see... Oh, wait, you can't see. Right, we're on live radio.
Yes. Come on, get it.
These two ambulances were on the street outside of the house. According to the Daily News of New York, no one was injured in the blaze. It is unknown how the fire even started in the first place.
You think it was? It could have. You think it was suspicious?
What difference at this point does it make?
Hillary, well, your big mouth doesn't need to speak right now.
Yeah. I just went. We didn't talk about this, but yesterday, Trump and really it was a big story yesterday about Huma Abedin, about her emails.
Abedin.
Her emails. She had classified emails, and they got hacked by foreign agents. And I said it. Anytime that story gains steam, something happens. A big distraction happens where it gets forgotten about. And we're seeing it right now. The fire, Steve Bannon doing this shit today. Go ahead, Andrew. So basically, yeah. All right. So this is a big story about nothing. It was probably a little fire, and they made it out to be something. Go ahead. Let's move on.
Exactly. Let's stop giving CNN attention. Okay. All right. One more little attention for CNN.
On Russian possible collusion.
That's where we'll start the next story off, because President Trump's former chief strategist, Steve Bannon, has described that the Trump Tower meeting between the president's son and a group of Russians during last year's election. Oh, my bad, the 2016 election. I forgot. We're in 2018 now.
Right.
Oh, man, I don't even know what year it is.
Nah, time flies by.
Ah, man, before you know it, it'll be 2020. Anyhow, during treasonous and unpatriotic, according to an explosive book seen by The Guardian.
Yeah. So listen, like I was saying before, Bannon gave this big interview to the author Michael Wolff today, and this is a promotion about a book, and now all of a sudden now, Bannon today is coming out and saying that the meeting with Trump and the Trump Tower with that lawyer, who wasn't even a lawyer, it was treasonous and unpatriotic. They already investigated that. He released all his emails. So my question is, why is Steve Bannon coming out now?
Well, because Steve Bannon wants to run for president of the United States.
No, he's coming out. When he gave his 60-minute interview, he said it was nothing. Remember, he gave the 60-minute interview last fall. He said, it was big nothing burger. So of course now, because the book is coming out, it's a way to get attention. Go ahead, read Andrew. Fire and Fury.
Inside the book is called Fire and Fury Inside the Trump White House, reportedly based on more than 200 interviews with the president, his inner circle, and players in and around the administration. It's one of the most eagerly awaited political books of 2018.
Of course. Promotion.
So the book came out today?
It's coming out.
Oh, but the media is leaking it.
No, this is promotion. This is a form of promotion. Now that Steve Bannon is coming out and saying this about Trump, now you got to read the book. What else does the book say? That's how they.
I still haven't read Mark Dice's book.
Yeah, fake news, but this is all publicity. It's publicity, and I guess Bannon is on the outs already, so. He just said, fuck it. But God, keep reading, Andrew.
Okay. In it, Wolf lifts the lid on a White House lurching from crisis to crisis of an I can't even read this word.
Intern assign.
This is a big word. I hate big words.
No, that is a big word.
With even some of Trump's closest allies expressing contempt for him.
And internecine means destructive to both sides in a conflict.
Oh, man. Steve Bannon's giving me headaches. He is.
He's giving
Didn't you go on Wikipedia? Don't you check Wikipedia and they say potential Republican nominees to challenge Donald Trump? Guess who's on the list now?
He's not running. He has no chance.
Well, if he does run, it'll be a laughing stock.
No, he won't run. But so Bannon, it says, who's Trump's chief executive of his campaign in the final 3 months and White House strategist for 7 months before he was let go. And yeah, I mean, it was like we mentioned earlier in the beginning of the show, Anthony Scaramucci when he got hired, he was quickly fired after several days because he. I
literally wonder what Anthony Scaramucci's response is right now. I'm literally curious.
I read it. He did tweet something before. He said, "Just go." He said, "Go read my statement in the spring without the salty language. Everything I said was true." So in other words, yes, Scaramucci is vindicated when he.
It would be awesome if I did a show with politics called Andy and the Mooch.
Andy Scaramucci, he looks like he would. He looks like a real big Mr. Wall Street guy. I bet you he has his nails polished. He probably gets manicures. I know.
Then maybe he'll get me a private car on the Long Island Railroad going along Babylon Branch.
He'll get the limo. I know those. I know those Wall Street types. I used to work among them. Those are the big boys. Those make the wheel go round.
And so liberal communists.
Yeah. Oh no. They are far from communists. These are capitalists, Andrew. So anyway, the meeting that was revealed by the Times So the meeting, of course, that was revealed by the New York Times, the failing New York Times, last July, which was about Michael Wolff wrote that Bannon remarked mockingly the 3 senior guys in the campaign thought it was a good idea to meet with a foreign government inside Trump Tower in a conference room on the 25th floor with no lawyers. They didn't have any lawyers. But there was no – see, again, why are you coming out with this?
Why are they making it a big deal that they're trying to look up information on a political candidate? Like that's always been done.
Yeah, because she was Russian, because she happened to speak Russian. Who, this woman, by the way –
Oh, so this is why CNN's fascinated and wants to make it a big deal.
Yeah, and by the way, I follow stuff closely, Andrew. This woman, she was in the congressional hearings. She didn't testify, but she was in the audience, and she was sitting next to an Obama aide in the audience. So she worked for the Democrats. A lot of people think this was a trap. This was a trap set up by the Democrats and the Hillary campaign by setting up this meeting with Trump Jr., Don Trump Jr., and Jared Kushner. It was a trap to ensnare them. And when this happened, they said that she offered nothing. The meeting only lasted 10 minutes. She offered nothing. They knew she was bullshitting, and they closed the meeting in 10 minutes. And again, they already investigated this. Donald Trump Jr. showed all his emails. I remember Trump tweeted that unlike Hillary, Don Jr. Disclosed all his emails to the FBI. So this is another nothing burger, and it's all about to sell a book.
Well, I don't know why we're making it a big deal.
No, listen, but it's the news. And again, like I said,
Frank, this isn't news. This is just a way for someone to get attention.
Yeah, but it's in the news and it's a distraction. Just like what did I say before about yesterday's big news? Yesterday's big news was Huma Abedin and how she's in hot water now. Sessions opened up an investigation into this. She's in hot water, and I said it.
Why is the Attorney General investigating Huma Abedin?
Because remember when they found emails? They found emails on the laptop with Anthony.
Yeah, in 2016. So
yeah. There was classified emails, and she forwarded classified emails to her Yahoo account, and they got hacked by foreign agents. The passwords. To government passwords got hacked by foreign agents.
So they're criminally investigating Anthony Weiner's former wife.
Yes, who is
my former congressman.
Yes, who is Hillary's top aide. And Trump tweeted out yesterday, if you remember, a few years ago, that Navy guy, the sailor, who took a couple of pictures inside a submarine and posted them. He got sent to jail for posting pictures of inside the submarine, because that's considered top secret information. So this again. I'm bringing this up because this is big news today, and I have to. But otherwise, this is just.
Otherwise, Matt Drudge just wants to keep spreading it.
No, but listen, Andrew, this is big all over. Everywhere I opened up today, this is a trending story. So
and
then
again, we like Matt Drudge, but this is a story that gives me headaches. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know, but it has implications because this was Bannon was considered Trump's like left-hand man. He was considered a big reason why he got elected. So the media built him up, but Bannon speculated that Trump Jr. Involved his father in the meeting, and his quote, he said that the chance that Don Jr. did not walk these Jamos, that's a word for jerks, up to his father's office on the 26th floor is zero. Bannon has criticized Trump's decision to fire Comey. Oh, now he's criticizing his decision to fire Comey. And in Wolf's book, obtained by The Guardian ahead of publication from a bookseller in New England, Andrew, he suggests that White House hopes for a quick end to the Mueller investigation. So now he's saying
he wanted James Comey fired because he refused to indict Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, come on. He's a liar. And
that's the truth.
Listen, if this is true, that Bannon did give these quotes. He just committed suicide today, not literally, but formally. So he says, "Do you realize where this is going? This is all about money laundering. Mueller chose senior prosecutor Andrew Weissman first, and he is a money laundering guy. Their path to fucking Trump.
Money laundering. Where have we heard that before?
Yeah, well, he's saying it. He said their path to fucking Trump goes right through Paul Manafort, Don Jr., and Jared Kushner." It's as plain,
and I was going to say Jared Kushner's name.
Yeah, and he said it's as plain as the hair on your face. And he goes on to say, well, last month there was a report about Deutsche Bank and supposedly German, which is, I worked at Deutsche Bank, I did security, and Bannon said it goes through Deutsche Bank and all that Kushner shit is greasy. They're going to rip right through that. They're going to roll those two guys up and say, play me or trade me. Oh, that's so crap. But so listen, yeah. So if
typical capitalism,
and I don't know what you're talking about. But if there was breaking news before, speaking of Paul Manafort, Paul Manafort has just sued. You can
Robert Mueller.
Robert Mueller, the DOJ. Let me see if I can punch it up. Paul Manafort. See, so this is all political theater. It's all.
Well, you can look it up because you have a better CPU and a better Intel processor.
No, I don't. Anyway, so here from the New York Times, Paul Manafort sues Mueller and asks a judge to narrow the Russia investigation. I mean, this is just crap.
You mean bullshit.
Yeah, all this is going to do is just it's going to jam it up. If this ever even goes to court, I'm sure they'll probably drop it's just to put pressure on the other side.
Exactly, it's just a way to make news. Listen, that's the way it is.
And if there is anybody out there listening saying, "Oh, you two guys, you meaning me and you guys don't know nothing," or you guys are Trump cheerleaders, listen. Again, it's like Andrew said, it's 2018. This is ongoing now for almost a year. What if there was such a big glaring evidence? How long does it take to do this? How long does it take to come out and say, "Hey, we got it. This is it. This is a smoking gun, clear cut. This guy's going to go down. That guy's going to go down." And forget Trump. He ain't going to go down because he's not under investigation. Like I said last week,
I don't want him impeached. The best thing they can do is just elect him out.
Impeach is nothing. Impeach doesn't mean he could get impeached. It doesn't mean he's going to get fired. It doesn't mean he's not going to be president anymore.
Well, the thing is, impeachment's really not going to solve anything.
Impeachment is not a criminal charge. Hey, I got it right from the meaning of impeach means to call into question the integrity or validity of. It's to charge the holder of public office with misconduct, or charge with treason, or another. That's the English, the British translation. It's impeaching means that you're charging the public office, the officer, which would be Trump in this case, with misconduct. But again, in the spring of 2016, Comey, before he got fired, he testified to the Senate. They asked him, "Is Trump under investigation?" No. Was he?
No, he is not.
Was he ever under investigation?
No.
So that's it. So this is all news stuff.
It's bullshit. All right, it's just bullshit. Right. I'm sick and tired of this. I want this to end. Screw Robert Mueller. Screw everyone. Stop it already.
Listen. The cold reality is, and see, when you get old enough, and Andrew, maybe you're lucky enough to live in these times, and maybe because I'm talking to you, when you clearly see that the news is all crap. I mean, listen,
it's crap.
Andrew, I don't know 3/4 of the stuff that you know when I was your age. But the news, how the news works is they throw shit at the wall, and whatever sticks, they cling with it. The Trump-Russia collusion story has big legs. It's a juicy story. It gets ratings. It gets clicks. It gets web traffic, and it's a murder mystery. It's like a murder mystery. They'll probably make a movie out of it one day.
No! I don't want to relive it. No,
I know, but I'm saying it's got legs. So all the news outlets, which pretty much are in cahoots with each other, and
the bad news is they're going to make Alec Baldwin play Trump.
Yeah. But you notice, like I said again, that's the theme of this show. You notice they never they never pile on steam to Hillary's charges, which are grievous, and there is clear-cut evidence. The conspiracy with that is how come they're not prosecuting her already, because there's evidence. With Trump, the conspiracy is why are they investigating him with no evidence? Anyway, all right, well, we still got a few minutes, Andrew. So with this bomb cyclone now, which is weather propaganda, there's a story now. God, you want to read it? The American Power Grid?
Our power grid is starting to show signs of fatigue as the nation grapples with record-breaking cold snaps. In the Midwest, some natural gas plants are having trouble getting supplies, forcing outages and increased use of fuel oil. Dustin Smith, a spokesman for the Southwest Power Pool, said yesterday. Some power plants in New England that have been burning oil are running short on fuel. According to Marsha Blumberg, a spokeswoman for ISO New England, Inc., the region's grid operator. Restrictions governing air emissions are also a factor that limiting their use.
So basically, to keep the air clean, because the restrictions are so strong these days, people can't. People aren't going to be able to get heat.
Well, can I make a prediction on restrictions? This is just one random one, but I predict, because we're not even going to hit the 20s this weekend, I am predicting that the MTA will not be running express subway service in Queens.
Well, oh God, give me a break. You're obsessed with this shades. I remember when in the 90s, here in New York City, there was this kid. He was 16 years old, and he you know what he was famous for?
What was he famous for?
For stealing the A train.
Wait, the A train?
Yeah, he would steal it.
You talking about the autistic black guy?
And I don't know what the fuck he was. It was in the 90s. He was a teenager. He wanted to be a conductor. And he did it about 6 or 8 different times. He would pretend to be a conductor, and at the last stop, he would show up at the last stop, and he would take the train, and he would steal it. He would drive it.
And was the cars empty at least?
No, he would act as the conductor.
What?
Yeah,
that's illegal.
Yeah, no shit. Before they knew what was up.
That's transit authority property. My grandfather used to work in the transit authority.
Andrew,
he was a track supervisor.
He did it about 4 or 5 times.
And if he saw something like that, he would have reported it. Listen,
it was a joke. It was almost like a running joke. This kid, he was always 16. What are they going to do to him? He would always tell the cops that he wanted to be a conductor, and it's like how stupid? How could you get mad at the kid if you let a kid steal the fucking train? I mean, who's at fault? But anyway, so yeah, so now the weather fear porn. It's the ice age is coming. We don't have enough fuel to.
The ice age is not coming.
We don't have enough fuel to keep warm now. The power plants are going to crash. It's going to be chaos. Always scary. And this last.
How in the world is the power going to go off when Con Edison double checks their grid?
Didn't you just read the article, Andrew? It said that some gas plants are having trouble getting supplies, and some power plants that have been burning oil are running short on fuel.
We have Indian Point. We're going to be fine.
Who knows, Andrew? The world isn't about New York. But anyway, this last thing there's this top secret U.S. satellite that was launched by SpaceX, aims to send unknown group mystery, the mysterious project that will see the private agency launch the satellite, allowing an unnamed government organization to send messages or take photos. Out of the few scraps of information currently available, has revealed Zuma will enter into a low orbit around Earth. This is a SpaceX flight launched by Elon Musk, and I don't know if you remember a few weeks ago.
It was Elon Musk.
A few people filmed it, and they were like, "Oh, look, it's chemtrails," or "Look, it's a UFO." People are so fucking stupid. Even with the internet, you think anybody would go on their phone and look up a mysterious object, and it would probably pop up? But I don't understand the point of these articles about secret space, top secret articles. They don't say nothing. And then the last story was that the doctors found a ketchup packet stuck in a woman's intestine for 6 years. It turned out the 41-year-old somehow swallowed a ketchup wrapper that lodged into her small intestine. The packet had actually cut into the woman's stomach, which caused Crohn's-like symptoms. There's many cases of this. People have swallowed pennies and quarters. I don't know how the fuck you do that as an adult. How do you swallow a fucking quarter and change? But anyway, that's an interesting topic. Anyway, Andrew, very good. First good episode. You want to read the plugs?
Yes. Andy's running this Twitter at EAZZ34 for Frank on Twitter. Stay warm if you're in this cold spell, everyone. Make sure you don't drive if it's snowing where you are.
The bomb cycle.
And remember, have an emergency kit. Very important.
Yeah, and go get the bread and milk.
Get your bagels, get your pizza, get your hot dogs.
Yeah.
Get your soup. Right.